Well, good morning. I'm Linda Martin.
Yes, and I'm Mark Bailey. Good to see you this morning on this Tuesday.
Do you have any skinny jeans yourself?
Any skinny jeans? Well, sure.
Okay, good.
Can I get in them? No.
Well, you're about to.
Yeah, okay.
You're going to learn how.
We'll give it a try.
It is the first day back to school for San Diego Unified School District, and Candace Wynn is at Mission Bay High School previewing how the students are getting in the back-to-school groove.
It's definitely a sort of nervous excitement. It's the first day of school, big day throughout San Diego Unified. We're here at Mission Bay High School. Class has started, but take a look at these students here. They're getting their books for the school year, preparing. But the big question I've been asking the principal as well as the superintendent, Cindy Martin, this morning is what should parents expect, because there are big changes this year. Not only is there an across-the-board curriculum change called the Common Core State Standard, this is also Martin's first school year as superintendent. She's replacing Bill Koba. For the curriculum change, Principal Fred Hilgers here at Mission Bay High says its goal is to prepare students for their careers. It's similar content, but includes now having the children to explain what they're doing, not just memorize the content. Whether it's English, math, or science, it gets them to work on their analytical skills as well as their verbal skills, of course, just like they would do at a job interview or a workplace. Now, a few moments ago this morning, we spoke to Cindy Martin, who we're told is very involved in this transition. Here's what she said about overseeing this first day of school as superintendent.
You know, this is my 24th year as an educator, and every year I've been at one school site, and now I have about 200 school sites. So it's a little bit larger, but the first day is still the first day. I'm really excited to help prepare our schools to be ready to open their doors.
Superintendent Martin is off to a full day of meetings. She's just spent the last half hour or so touring the classrooms here at Mission Bay High. Now, according to the principal here, he said a great tip for parents to prepare their kids for this change in the curriculum is just to carve out maybe 20 minutes a day, sit down and not only have your child show you their homework, but have them explain it, have them explain what they learned. He says that is a great way to transition into this new curriculum. Let's send it back to you in studio.
Well, now, not everybody is thrilled to death to go back to school, believe it or not. Can't understand that, but Dr. Aleksandra Drecun does. That's why we've asked her to come back in and talk to us this morning a little bit about the back-to-school blues. Do kids, you know, sometimes we tend to discount our kids' feelings. We say, oh, come on, you know, you just get back in there and enjoy. And we tend to minimize sometimes how much they're actually feeling, I think. I don't think that's fair.
No, it's not fair, and that sometimes happens. There's so much going on, I think, with parents having to run a household, raise children, take care of work, and then they're having to prepare to go back to school with having to pay for tuition possibly, or back to school clothes, or possibly even supplies.
Right. See, those are all my problems. But not necessarily my child's problems.
Right, and then there's change involved as well, such as who's going to be the new teacher, what's the academic rigor going to be like, the difficult social situations that a child might encounter. There's so much happening all at once that children and parents may sometimes have a little bit of anxiety or worry about going back to school. And
both.
Yeah, and it's easy to overlook our children's concerns about going back because so much is happening all at once.
Right. Well, let's talk about what we should be doing here. Before school or even during the first few weeks of school, getting your rest is like one of the keys, isn't it?
Yes, sleep is essential because we don't want to shock our children into waking up early, so it's recommended that we have children start their sleep routine a week prior to the start of school. That's a really helpful thing. And then also getting them organized, say with their binders, their backpacks, packing a healthy lunch so that they're energized throughout the school day, and it's kid-friendly as well. They'll eat it rather than just throw it in the garbage.
Right. Or try to trade that apple for a ding dong.
Right.
Yeah, which I was a master at, by the way. Do you like to run scenarios through ahead of time?
It's very helpful to prepare a child, and that could even include visiting the campus, finding their locker, their classroom, so that they have an idea of what to expect, because sometimes the fear of the unknown is most scary, and I think this is where parents can be really helpful in terms of managing their child's emotions, teaching them some techniques, some breathing, some counting exercises that will help ease the transition, which can be really difficult.
And just talking, I imagine.
Yes, talking.
Sometimes
is
you
huge.
you don't even think, well, maybe just a little quick conversation and kind of just to normalize everything? And
Sure, because I think back to school jitters are really common. Change can be a little bit scary for anyone, even adults, let alone children who have less resources. So normalizing and saying that, you know, change can be a little bit challenging, and it's okay. It's okay, you'll be all right. Stay optimistic.
And here's, I want to talk about empathy a little bit here. You know, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yes.
And I think what I'm guessing you would probably say is you should empathize a little bit with them.
Sure, you want to normalize their feelings, say, I know what it's like when you have to go through a new change. It can be a little bit scary, and that's part of the process. But you also want to give them hope that they'll be able to manage the change or the challenge that's upcoming for them. And then ask them to verbalize maybe what was positive about the previous school year and how do you replicate that in the new school year? What did they do that was successful?
And I'm a big proponent of parents getting involved at school. I mean, we always did, and it always paid huge dividends in terms of building relationships with the teachers and actually seeing what the environment was and having some of those other kids see that my kids' parents were around.
Yes, it's wonderful, I think, if parents can build relationships with school administrative staff, getting to know the teachers, getting to know possibly even the school counselor, whoever the child may have the principal direct contact with, because then parents can also ease their own fears about being able to check in, either emailing the teacher, calling the teacher, saying hello, coming into the classroom, and just kind of getting an update, and that's also helpful to the parents as well.
Yeah, I probably should explain a little bit what I was meant by having the other kids see that my kids' parents were around. Every once in a while there's that kid that your kid doesn't get along with, and a little bullying or whatever going on. And it's not like you're there to be an enforcer, but if they just see that, well, that kid's parents are there, I think some of the kids kind of tended on to move on and put their energy in elsewhere and not put them into harassing my kids.
Sure, being present, because then
Just
the
being present, yeah.
child knows that the child has the support system there that's available.
And your child knows they have a support system.
Yes, it's very empowering. It's very empowering.
And yet, resisting the urge to jump in and do things for them.
Right. We want to teach our children to become empowered so that they can solve their own problems, and being there to support them and normalize the process and problem solve with them as well. But then they build a sense of resiliency and feel a sense of confidence because they're able to navigate whatever difficulties might come their way. It's part of growing up.
Part of growing up, but still part of being a team too.
Yes.
Yeah. Doctor, thanks so much
My
for
pleasure.
coming in. And your little 2-year-old, you've got a couple years to go, but
Yes.
are you already thinking about that first day of school?
Yes, I'm thinking preschool. First day of preschool.
It's already, does it bother you a little bit?
A little bit. I'm having my own separation anxiety about it.
Yeah, I did too. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Okay, upgrading your look and your wardrobe shouldn't take too much work. Some simple styling that you can do at home that's actually labor-less fashion. That's coming up next.